Hey everybody, it's Chris. It's fair time, and we've been taking stuff for the county fair. It reminded me of the old home movies that my grandfather had made. He had some from when the dealership would take tractors and equipment to the fair for display for the week, and so threw together a quick clip here, and we'll let it get rolling. There's no sound to it, but it is in full color. This is authentic stuff, and we'll watch through here, and then I'm going to back it up and go through it a little slower so I can give a little more details. I think this was recorded in about 1947, maybe 1948, and I can explain that as we go along. Okay, so now we're going to back it up, and we'll kind of play it a little slower and talk about what all we're seeing here. This was recorded right out in front of our dealership by the road as everybody was pulling out to head to the county fair. That's the dealership building in the background. Uh, I'm not up on pickups from that era, so if someone recognizes what it is, what year it is, I'd love to see something. If you could comment about that. Pulling an elevator of some kind. I don't know if New Holland made them back in the day, but at that time we were a New Holland dealer. And I say this video was shot in 1947 or 1948 based on the tractors that show up in it. They're, of course, all Oliver tractors, and none of them are what we would call an actual fleet line, which came out in later 48. And right here we have an Oliver 60, and with an attached weeder that would flip, the wings would flip down, and you just ran through the field to kill weed seedlings. I don't recognize who's driving. I believe that's a number 5 corn picker. Those were built in Battle Creek, Michigan, which about 30-40 miles away from us, so not too big of a deal for them. They sold Wisconsin engines and possibly another brand by the looks, but at that point, independent PTO was just a brand new thing, so a lot of implements had their own engines on them, and so selling and servicing Wisconsin engines was a good idea. Okay, now we have an Oliver 70. Can tell that partially by the sheet metal. The exhaust is coming out the right side because of the Continental engine. I'm not entirely sure which corn picker this is. They obviously took some parts off from it for taking it to the fair. Another Oliver 70. Everybody got umbrellas to go to the fair with, at least, to stay cool. Whoever this is, they wanted to wave. And behind it is a Oliver Model 15 combine. I actually still have one of these. And who knows, maybe it's the same one. Once again, made in Battle Creek, Michigan, so not too far down the road. Now, here's the thing that really dates it. This is an Oliver 88, and this is the styled 88, or they call, or the fleet, streamlined 88, I guess. Depends on who you ask. Those were made in 47, 48. So that kind of, if they'd had something, since this is a fair, if there was a newer tractor on the lot, they would be driving whatever the newest thing was to the fair. So, and by 49, the regular fleet lines were out. They would have had one of those in the lineup and taking it. So that's what makes me believe it couldn't be older than 47 because of that 88, and it probably ain't newer than 48 because of that same tractor. New Holland baler, running gear, and they had a wagon train with this one with a manure spreader behind. Let's see, the delivery truck for the dealership. You can see one of our Oliver signs there on the side. There's an Oliver plow on the back. Haven't been quite able to, I would say it's a heavy duty series plow, but I just, everything's kind of, I guess I'm impressed how good it is for back then, but can't make out enough detail to say for sure which plow model it is. And there's another elevator. These were on, I believe, 16 millimeter film. My aunt got them transferred to VHS. I copied that onto my computer and did a bunch of work to help fix dark spots, bright spots. I'd like to get them remastered. So here we are lined up along the side of the road. And finally, we're at the fair. They're putting up the banner. You can barely see it. It says Jackson County Fair, something or another. Now, then we jump ahead. There was a Super 55, so this has to be at least 1954. There's Fleetline tractors, and then probably at the fairgrounds, the other brands of tractors, or maybe stuff for the tractor pull. A little extra bonus. Here's probably one of that, maybe that 88, but being unloaded off the rail car. This probably was in Lansing, Michigan. Oliver had a branch warehouse in Lansing at that time. So my guess would be that's where they would pick it up. Here's an Oliver combine right out in front of the dealership. Note there's a farm all. It must have been traded in the background there. He's backing around to park it in the front yard. I think that's a Model 33 combine.